Hi guys, welcome back. So today we're going to do one of my favorite postures, and that is King Dancer's Pose, Natarajasana. I'm joined by the lovely Nicole. She's going to be my model today. So Nicole's going to stand in Tadasana. As she comes and stands in Tadasana, when we work into this posture, you really want to find a neutral foundation. So Tadasana is really the way to go. But when you think of this shape, when you bend the right knee, some students like to bring their hand to the outside of the foot, roll the right shoulder head back. Some students like to take the right hand to the inside of the foot, and this already assists in rolling the right shoulder head back. But you decide on what works better for you at home. So there's two different rotations. But what you're trying to think is, how can I move the right hip forward? So as Nicole continues to explore Tadasana in her left leg, she's going to bend her right knee, reach back and grab a hold of the foot. So she's opted for inside. Now the emphasis is to pull the right hip forward. She's got that nice width across her collarbones. As the tips of the shoulder blades move in, they slightly move apart. Then from here, she's going to start to lengthen her right leg back. And as she draws the right shin towards the back of the room, she starts to move the spine into the chest. And as she does that, the right rib cage rolls slightly forward. That's the work. And the left hip pins in. If you're someone who's very, very mobile, you might want to put a little bend in your standing leg and really start to firm through the left thigh bone. And then she starts to breathe into her heart. When I do this pose, I like to take a mudra with my extended arm. And taking Jnana Mudra just helps me to find that internal wisdom of what the shape is really about, opening space around the chest. So the more you take the right leg up, the more you're going to really stretch the right hip flexor, but the more you've got to pull that right hip forward, which is challenging. That was nice. Then from here, she's going to slowly press back up to standing, feeling that containment from her core, and come back to neutral Tadasana. Now we're going to take it into the full variation. Now before we go into the full variation, something we want to look at. When we do this variation, what we tend to forget is what rotation the arm is in. So you want to think that your right arm is in external rotation. So as that right elbow goes up, the palm is turned open, and as you explore that external rotation, both outer upper arms are pinning in. The elbow and the shoulder are in line, because what tends to happen is the elbow goes out and it can put a lot of stress on the ligaments that support your humerus bone in place. So there's an external rotation as the arm goes up and overhead. Yeah, it's not internally rotating, it's turning the palm open, then taking the arm up and finding that essence of wrapping the triceps into the midline and the biceps back. Okay, so Nicole is going to come back into Tadasana. As she stands into her left leg, she reaches her right leg back. As she bends the knee, she's going to reach and grab a hold of the foot. As she grabs the foot, she's going to find that external rotation we talked about. Now as she lengthens through the mound of her foot, good, she can draw both hips in. Left hip in slightly, that's good. Then she's sending the inner right groin skyward, so both femur bones are in neutral rotation. Then the back bend is in the upper thoracic, and as she wraps the triceps, she takes the breath from the belly into the sternum and out through the crown of her head. Maybe a little bend in that standing leg as she grounds the mound of the left big toe down. Then she slowly comes out, containing her abdomen, and that's really hard to come out. So when you come out, think, how can I ground down? Because you don't want to slingshot the foot, right? You want to come out nice and slow. So that's a slow progression of bending the knee, letting go to release so that you lower down with as much control as you could muster so that you don't kick into the lower back. So we hope that was helpful. Give it a go. Try it at home. Try variation 1. Then move into variation 2 really, really slowly, and see where your body goes with it. Hope that was helpful. Thanks for tuning in. See you down the yoga road.